All right, here we go. Do well here.
Okay. This is what my life looked like before the fifth wave of COVID hit Hong Kong. This is what my life has looked like recently. As we transitioned back and forth from in-person school to online learning, I think we can all agree that it definitely wasn't easy. Whether it was the mental struggles or physical struggles, this semester was a tough journey. Over the past few months, I was definitely reminded of the importance of maintaining a good mental health. When Mr. Schmidt introduced to us this project, I was struggling with three big things due to the isolation from online learning: my sleep, my happiness, and my focusing skills. So I figured, why not use this opportunity to potentially find a way to help mitigate these issues that came from online learning and maybe even show others that they can do the same. I decided I wanted to try to use art therapy. Early this semester, as a part of my FRP, I researched the uses and benefits of art therapy, but I realized I'd never given it a go myself. Here I was telling everyone that they should use art therapy without any first-hand experience. So, since March, I spent just around 10 to 20 minutes every day painting and surrounding myself with art, and the results were shocking. Firstly, art therapy was very beneficial in improving my sleep. As someone who regularly struggles with insomnia, during online school it got worse. Like, a lot worse. As you can see, my average sleep time was very low. I had multiple days in a row where I would get zero sleep, and I barely ever slept before 2 a.m. I had been prescribed every kind of sleeping medicine, yet I would stay awake for hours, up to days without any sleep. However, once I began doing art regularly, I noticed that there was not only a huge decrease in the number of days that sleeping problems appeared, but that my sleeping time had shown an overall increase. Using the health app on my phone, I was able to collect data on my sleep schedules to notice these improvements. In the month of February, before I began using art, there were 13 out of 28 days, 46%, where my insomnia appeared. For almost half the month, I was completely unable to fall asleep. As March came and I started using art, I began to see vast improvements. In the month of March, I only had 8 out of 31 days where I could not fall asleep, a shocking 44% decrease from before. Continuing to the second month of using art, in April, there was yet another decrease in the amount of days where insomnia hit me. In the month of April, there was only 5 out of 30 days where I had these sleeping issues, another 4% decrease from the previous month, but a total of a 46% decrease in how often my insomnia would appear. Not just that, but my overall sleeping time increased by quite a bit. Before I began using art therapy, I slept an average of 5 hours and 23 minutes each night in the month of February. In the month of March, that increased to a 7 hours and 12-minute average. Finally, in the month of April, my sleeping time improved to an average of 8 hours and 2 minutes every night. I not only was able to sleep better with fewer problems, but the quality and length of my sleep also improved. Well, you may ask, how does just using art have the power to help sleep? Well, art helps to stimulate and increase blood flow to the regions of the brain connected to processing emotions and memories like the amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex. Why is blood flow in these regions important? It creates a reduction in the body's stress hormone, cortisol, which helps decrease anxiety and produce a feeling of relaxation and well-being, consequently leading to better sleep. By spending as little as 10 to 20 minutes each night on art, it showed better results than any kind of sleeping medicine that I had ever taken, with both my sleep quality and duration improving. Moving on, I found that by using art therapy, my overall mental well-being and happiness improved a lot. Every week, I would take a perma quiz, also known as an authentic happiness quiz, to overall summarize the kinds of emotions I was feeling and altogether sum up my well-being level. The final score gives you a rating 1 to 5, 5 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. In the first few weeks of February, right when online learning started, I scored a low 0.89 out of 5. Not great. But as I began slowly incorporating art into my everyday life, my score began getting higher and higher. As you can see in these data graphs, there's a pretty clear trend of increase as I incorporated art into my life. Through the month of March, I improved from a 0.89 all the way up to a 2.1, and in the month of April, I improved from a 2.1 to a 3.2. But through analyzing my specific answer choices to the perma quiz, I noticed that after using art therapy, there was a significant improvement in specifically satisfaction of my life and who I was. For example, one of my responses, on average, changed from "I'm not satisfied with myself" to moving up 2 levels and becoming "I am satisfied with myself." Another example of this change was with question 9, where in earlier months my response was "I did neither well or did badly," and moved up a couple levels into "I did well." art was able to nurture me to develop a better sense of satisfactory self-confidence, as experiencing art has been proven to be a self-rewarding, emotionally positive activity. A study done discovered that when patients observed beautiful and emotional pieces of artwork, signals were sent to the part of the orbitofrontal cortex and other reward-related areas of the brain. By analyzing or creating art that is aesthetically pleasing, it creates highly gratifying results and creates better self-reward and self-love behavior of satisfaction. Adding on to this idea, studies show that through introducing vivid colors and imagery, it can improve your mood by distracting your brain from negativity. The sensation of pain comes from when the brain senses discomfort from sensory receptors like the brain's and alerts the brain's cerebral cortex. When people are in pain, they lose a sense of control. However, engaging in forms of mental distractions like art therapy can stop these pains from reaching the cerebral cortex at all and help reclaim ownership of the mind. Researchers also noticed that bright and saturated colors positively influence patients' bodies. As these rich and vivid colors travels from the eyes to the brain releases the happy hormone, serotonin, alleviating anxiety while also raising happiness levels. By using art, I was able to increase my serotonin levels and block out any unnecessary stresses that came from the demanding period of online learning. Finally, art therapy helped improve my overall productivity and motivation to do my schoolwork willingly. Well, how did I track improvements? Every time I would get ready to study for a long period of time, I would time how long I would be able to focus on my work before I got distracted by my phone or anything else. In the month of February, I timed how long I was able to focus before studying for an upcoming test. I was able to properly focus for around 45 minutes before I got impatient and went on my phone. In the month of March, my personal best of focus time was 1 hour and 15 minutes before I lost my focus and needed to do something else. However, in the month of April, this significantly improved to a 1 hour and 40 minutes, probably the longest time I'd ever been able to focus without any distractions. Not only was the amount of focus time increased a lot, the quality of my work improved. I was more patient with the amount of effort something took and more willing to do so. What was the root of this improvement? Well, I think it's because art significantly improved my patience. With painting small detail in art pieces, it takes time, precision, and most importantly, patience. Art has been proven to improve cognitive areas in which attention and patience is important, improving other things such as learning pace and memory, allowing you to not only focus longer, but focus better. By doing art, you are allowing your brain to practice and enter the flow state. The flow state is when your body is able to completely immerse itself in what it's doing. And by regularly practicing the flow state, with art, you are training your brain to be able to do that regularly, no matter what activity being done. This semester definitely wasn't easy for me, and I don't think it was for anyone else. However, during this hectic journey of transitioning back and forth from online learning, art therapy is what helped center my focus and help mitigate anxieties, a major keystone to what helped me through this difficult time. However, no matter if going through a difficult time or not, art should be essential in everyone's day-to-day life, especially if you're a high school student like me, packed with everyday stresses. If more people, specifically students, could see the benefits of art therapy, they could see the vast improvements that it can bring, allowing more people to feel comfort and relief throughout the high school experience. Thank you.